I quite honestly don't know how much more of this craziness I can handle in the world of wrestling this week. My goodness, the last few days have been absolutely nuts, and it got even crazier today. Good evening, everybody. This is John. It is WrestleScope TV for a Thursday night. Oh, my goodness. So we go from the Jeff Hardy arrest to the Vince McMahon investigation to Sasha Banks reportedly getting released to now another investigation coming to WWE. Scott and Scott Attorneys at Law put out a press release announcing that their firm is going to investigate whether certain directors and officers of WWE breached their fiduciary duties within WWE and its shareholders. This is the press release that, actually, you know what? Let me see if I can get a cleaner copy of this to be able to show you. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the Fightful Select story here. This is going to be right on Fightful Select's website, and I'm going to share this with you right now, but we're going to go ahead and read through this absolute disaster of what is going on. No, this is a different shirt. So, Scott and Scott Attorneys at Law, a national securities and consumer rights litigation firm, is investigating whether certain directors and officers of World Wrestling Entertainment Incorporated breached their fiduciary duties to WWE and its shareholders. Scott and Scott is investigating whether members of the WWE's board of directors or senior management failed to manage WWE in an acceptable manner in breach of their fiduciary duties to WWE, and whether WWE and its shareholders have suffered damages as a result. On June 15th, 2022, the Wall Street Journal reported that the WWE Board of Directors was investigating an alleged $3 million settlement that CEO Vince McMahon agreed to pay in January 2022 to a former employee with whom he allegedly had an affair. And it just goes on to, if you have experience with this, you could contact the organization. One of the stories that I did see earlier today, and I don't know how true it is part of this also has to do with the fact that Kevin Dunn, who is a senior vice president within WWE, sold off about $1 million worth of his stock at the beginning of May. Now, Kevin Dunn is not part of the board of directors, but you have to think, isn't this a little questionable? Do you think that maybe, just by some chance, Kevin Dunn got wind of the investigation that was going on within WWE, and the fact that, he goes off and sells those stocks? I don't know. That's just hearsay. That's just speculation at this point. And I forgot to go live here on Instagram, so we're going to go live on Instagram right now. But the walls around the world of McMahon are crumbling. When is WWE not in trouble? There hasn't been anything this serious since the steroid trials, and quite honestly, I think this is worse. I really do think this is worse. That is a good question. Yeah, I saw that earlier too, that they are not together. I think they are still legally married, but who the heck knows? Maybe they kept it quiet because obviously Linda McMahon has had a lot of political leanings and involvement with things. She has been, involved in certain ways with at the time President Trump. She had a Senate campaign, so maybe they've been keeping everything quiet. I'm not going to speculate on that at all. But it's just one thing after another. And the people closest to Vince McMahon within that company, it's all crumbling around them. It is all starting to fall apart around them. I am still awaiting that notification that John Laurinaitis has been let go from WWE. If that doesn't come out by near the end of business tomorrow, I will be shocked. I will really be shocked. Now, I don't wish anybody to get fired from a job, okay? I'm just saying from a news aspect, I am shocked that that has not come out yet. But I think right now the WWE Board of Directors is in, they've got some serious decisions to be making here. And the question that should be asked, and I'm going to look this up right now and see. I saw a listing earlier, but I want to actually reference correctly. Who is on? Oh, here we go. We will go straight to the WWE website. And let's see, I believe this is current. It looks like it is current. Okay. You will also notice they show the stock price. That WWE stock is down 3.44%. All right, so we have Vince McMahon, Nick Khan, Stephanie McMahon, Paul Levesque, Triple H, Steve Koonin, who's also the chief executive officer, Ignace Lahoud. Oh, he's the chief executive officer of the Atlanta Hawks. Erica Nardini, Steve Pamone, Connor Schell, Manjeet Singh, Jeffrey Speed, and Alan Wexler are all on the board of directors. Obviously, it is very apparent that there's a conflict of interest right here with Stephanie McMahon and her husband. Okay? Okay, hold on. Let's address this. First of all, it doesn't matter if he was in love with her. It is the fact that she was paid $100,000 in a job, and then all of a sudden, when she started having an intimate relationship with Vince McMahon, her salary went up to $200,000. And then she decides to quit the company after the allegations that came out of, in the story from the Wall Street Journal that she was passed around like a toy to John Laurinaitis. And then they paid her, Vince McMahon, out of his own money, not WWE money, but his own money, paid this woman $3 million to stay quiet, reportedly. That is not somebody being in love with a 40-year-old woman, okay? That is paying somebody off to keep their mouth shut. And no matter who you are, doesn't matter if you are the chairman, CEO of World Wrestling Entertainment, if you are the owner of the corner bookstore, if you are whatever, if you are paying somebody off that you had an affair with, that's a problem. Okay? So wait, she didn't keep Vince's promise. She is not the one that is speaking out. Okay? She didn't go public with this somebody else that was in the know did, and either went to the Wall Street Journal or went to the WWE board of directors about this. Supposedly, this woman, who we have not, all we know is she is a former paralegal. So obviously people within the company know who it is, but the public does not know who it is. That is a great question. So I would believe right now that, taking a look at this, all right, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 members on the board of directors. Obviously, Vince McMahon doesn't get a vote in this. Okay. I would assume, because of personal relationship, Stephanie and Paul would both be eliminated from this, from any discussion. So you are down to 9. Okay. You'd have to think that they are having discussions of how to handle this, what they need to do. There are legal things that need to be taken care of, because obviously they have to make sure, before they make a move on Vince McMahon, who owns controlling interest stock-wise in WWE. He is the majority owner of stock in WWE. So he still technically holds all the power. But from a business standpoint, if all of a sudden, since they are a publicly traded company, stockholders can have a say. And the big thing to watch is this number right here over the next couple of days. Okay? It's down a couple of dollars right now. If this starts sinking into the $50 range, you're talking a lot of money for people that have massive amounts of stock within WWE. That is what's going to be the big deciding factor. If all of a sudden stockholders start squawking up the chain to the board of directors, talking about money getting lost, which now, with this latest report that's going on with the investigation on, possibly illegal and inappropriate practices by the board of directors financially, this number right here, I don't know if you can see my mouse move, this number right here is going to dramatically go down. And at that point in time, the board of directors are going to have to make a move. I don't see anything happening before Monday. Okay. Or they could try burying it. It's well known in news circles that you either announce something late Friday afternoon or you do it on Saturday when nobody's paying attention. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen, but quite honestly, from a business standpoint, this is not looking good for WWE. This is the greatest threat ever to World Wrestling Entertainment. And it's not coming from another wrestling company. I never thought in my lifetime I would see something like this happen. And I'm shocked. Now, DeRich, okay, you should care about this because, as Lucas says, it is super inappropriate for Vince McMahon to do it. And we are going very soon, very, very soon, we are going to start hearing more and more stories coming out. Maybe not so much against Vince McMahon, but people underneath him. I'm not going to speculate names. I could throw names out there, but I'm not going to. I truly believe we are going to start hearing more stories. The door has been opened. and the stuff is going to start flooding through now, because there has been rumors for years and years about inappropriate things happening, whether it's within the corporate structure or the creative structure, whatever within WWE. We talked last night about that tweet from Nia Jax from back in April talking about perverts and all that type of thing. We are suddenly going to start hearing more things. I hate to say it. I don't want this to snowball. I don't want this to turn into a Pandora's box opening up, because this is bad for the wrestling industry in general, because now the general public is starting to see these things. Okay? They're starting to see these things, and it's going to have a negative effect on the world of professional wrestling in general. Sponsors, network deals, just perceptions. This is going to be something that is going to harm professional wrestling for years, and not just WWE. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. I could see, somebody like NBC Universal, Disney Corporation coming in and buying it, sending in a lowball offer now. Louis, we're not even going to go there. I can tell you right now, WWE is not going to be buying anything anytime soon. Not at all. All right, let's switch gears. Some other bad news. And yes, Louis, there is a report that came out today, and Fightful Select had reported this, that things aren't looking good. Fightful learned that Randy Orton has legit been dealing with a back injury. It wasn't just storyline. He actually had work done to improve his condition before the unification match, the tag title unification match. They weren't sure of exactly what the level of work that was done, but things have gotten worse, and WWE is now fearing that Orton may have to undergo surgery. And if he does, he will likely be out for the remainder of 2022. Thus far, the exact injury is unknown at this point, but I can tell you, as somebody that has dealt with back issues, my oldest son has had back issues since he was 12, and it was never, they figured out a couple of things. Considering 20 years in the business, how many tens of thousands of bumps he's taken, it's going to happen. More on this Fightful report. They had been told that Randy Orton isn't factored into creative plans for WWE at the moment. After being slated for a huge role this summer, he was supposed to be the one challenging Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, but obviously that's not going to happen now. So if Randy Orton is going to be out for an extended period of time, this is another big blow to the WWE from a creative standpoint. What this means creatively, well, first of all, they don't have anybody else. Who else do they have? They've got Riddle in obviously what's going to be a one-off when they added that stipulation that if he loses, he can never challenge Roman ever again. Yes, we have Drew McIntyre in the wings, but that's supposed to happen at Clash at the Castle. We've got 2 pay-per-views between now and then. What are they going to do? Who else do they have to elevate to that point? Yes, you could throw Seth Rollins in there, but it wouldn't make any sense. Yes, you could potentially put Edge in there, but Edge obviously is going to have a built-in feud with Finn Balor and Judgment Day. You could try pushing AJ Styles up the card again, but I don't think that's the right move at this point. Who else do they have? They're not going to bring Brock Lesnar back because people aren't going to want to see that again. I see. No, they're not going to throw Gunther in there either. What are they going to do? They have not built anybody up credibility-wise to challenge Roman Reigns. So what are they going to do with him? And now they've made the huge mistake of putting this match on SmackDown instead of waiting a couple more weeks and putting it at Money in the Bank. No, it's not going to be. It's not going to be The Rock, because that's been the talk of going into WrestleMania. But is that even going to happen now? WWE has painted themselves into a corner that they can't get out of now. Okay, I guess we could do comparisons here. Okay. You have a champion that owns both main titles in WWE for 2 shows. You've had Cody Rhodes go down with an injury. You have Randy Orton go down. You have not successfully built up anyone else to step into that role. You have essentially killed the main event, the main event push here. It's terrible. No, Austin Theory is not ready yet. And again, we keep throwing out names of heels, of bad guys. You've got Big E on the shelf. Who else are you going to move up? I'll tell you, if you haven't seen the video that Adam Blampied from Wrestle Talk did a couple weeks back, talking about Xavier Woods and how Xavier Woods is the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. And now this was before Cody Rhodes got hurt. This is before all that happened. He recorded this a couple of weeks, 4 weeks ago, I believe. You need to go check that out. It's on Parts Fun Known on YouTube. Adam Blampied talking about Xavier Woods being the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. Right now, the way maybe a few of the things that he did for booking aren't going to work now, but right now, that may be their option. But it was a 6-7 month build to it. They don't have time for that right now. They have got to elevate some people quickly to become challengers for him, even if they are going to keep the belts on Roman Reigns. They have got to do something, because all of a sudden their main event scene is an absolute disaster. There is no main event scene right now. Your top champion is not booked for Money in the Bank. He is not booked for the second pay-per-view in a row. He has not wrestled a singles match on pay-per-view since WrestleMania. If they don't fix this soon, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. They could push Lashley up quickly, but he's in a feud with Theory right now for whatever reason. No, it's not going to be Braun Breaker. Not yet. Because one, you don't want to feed him immediately to the champion if he gets called up. Yes, Cena's returning. That is a good thing, but he's going to be feuding this summer with Theory. No, I believe John Cena is going to do the job for Austin Theory. It's basically going to be a passing of the torch. I would love to see Tommaso Ciampa in that role because, again, he's from Milwaukee. But the way they're utilizing him, I don't even know how they're utilizing him, quite honestly. I don't. I think it's perfect. It's 20 years? Isn't it 20 years? Yeah, it's 20 years since the debut of John Cena. Austin Theory has been compared to a young John Cena. He is the next big star for the company. Why not have him work with John Cena and John Cena give him the rub? They can have some great promo battles. They can have an amazing match at SummerSlam. Some good lead up to it prior to that. I don't know how they're going to make a full summer out of this. I mean, well, actually, realistically, they only have to do a month. Think about it. Cena's debuting in a week and a half on the 27th. And SummerSlam is at the end of July. It's really only a month. I keep thinking that SummerSlam is in late August, but it's not. They pushed it up a few weeks. So, yeah, Cena's only going to be here for like 4 weeks, and it's going to be to push Theory. He's not going to beat him. I would be willing to put money on it that John Cena is coming in to do the job for Austin Theory. It probably won't be a clean win. He'll probably get cheated, but it is what it is. Very cool. Hey, I just had Johnny Hungy like one of my tweets too. He didn't answer me, but he liked it. Okay, so one more thing real quick. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I hope not. Okay, so the whole Sasha Banks story, obviously, the only update we have came from Andrew Zarian from Matman that reportedly Sasha Banks had gotten some attorneys to help her out with either getting her release from WWE or helping get everything taken care of within WWE. So that's the only update we have. But if she was legitimately released yesterday, which nothing has been confirmed or denied at this point in time, she would have a 90-day non-compete clause, which would mean she would not be available to go anywhere, work anywhere else until September 13th. Now, something was brought to my attention today when I had tweeted about that. And I'm going to give this guy a shout, is Romeo Idolo from True Heel Heat. He had said she could show up at the Arthur Ashe show. Remember, WWE did the show at Arthur Ashe AEW did. And they haven't set a date, but they did announce that they are going to be doing it again. it would be sometime in mid to late September. That's where Sasha Banks could show up if she decides to go to AEW. I'm just saying, not going to happen at All Out. No, I do not believe WWE and Sasha are working everyone. Absolutely not. Depends on what the legal process is that's going on. Maybe there are some things. Maybe she has attorneys that are negotiating no 90-day non-compete. Imagine that. If she was able to work that out. Yep, congratulations to the Golden State Warriors. They are the NBA champions once again. Woohoo, basketball season is finally over. Guess what? It's going to start back up in 2 months. Hey, they didn't go until July this year, at least. It seems like the NBA just goes on forever. DeRich, which articles are you talking about? Which articles are you talking about? Louis, I haven't heard anything about MJF. Everything has gone absolutely dead quiet concerning MJF. And I kind of think that's what AEW wants right now. They want everybody to kind of quietly forget about it. And then all of a sudden, something will happen. That's what I'm thinking. But we shall see. DeRich, thank you very much for following on Twitch. Justin May the Rapper, thank you for following on YouTube. This has been a great week. I'm telling you, this has been just an absolutely great week for the channel. Thank you so much, everybody. I finally did get to watch Dynamite today. Was able to avoid a great majority of the spoilers. I did know about the main event, what happened in the main event and afterwards, which was okay. I pretty much had a feeling that both of those things were going to happen, so it wasn't a surprise. I thought it was a really good show. I don't know if I'd give it a 10 out of 10. 8.75 to a 9 out of 10. It was really good. I absolutely loved the Dax Harwood. Crap. Why am I forgetting his name all of a sudden now? Oh, my God. Has it been that long of a day that I can't remember who he faced? Oh, that is terrible. One of the best wrestlers on the planet. Will Ospreay, thank you. Thank you, Louis, always coming to my rescue. That was an unbelievable match. It really was. Blake, 10 out of 10, only because you were there. All right. Now, I saw a lot of people complaining about, after the Moxley Tanahashi face to face when Jericho came out and interrupted. I saw a ton of people just taking an absolute dump on that. But it made sense because it gave them an opportunity to announce a 6-man tag, which realistically, it's a 6-man tag I don't care about. It doesn't interest me at all. I think they could have done better. But it built into it. And, when you get Suzuki Gun, all of a sudden, you get Lance Archer and Desperado in there. That was awesome. That was awesome. I loved the face-off between Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay. And I'm so thankful for Excalibur. He needs to get props because he has done such a great job leading up to this pay-per-view of explaining things for people that don't watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, that don't understand, and explain things, and talking about Orange Cassidy being a part of chaos in New Japan Pro Wrestling and just explaining everything through. He is making up for some of the things that, I talked about this last week, that AEW has made mistakes with the build for this, but Excalibur by himself has been taking care of that. Okay, yeah, the one thing on the show that I did not like was Wardlow versus the Plaintiffs. And what was even worse was after the match. Now, I expected there to be the Dan Lambert involvement, but the two guys that came in that are, MMA fighters from America's Top Team, I don't remember their names, but the white, okay, I have to explain it this way because I don't know. The white guy, Tyron Woodley looked tough. But the other guy, Matt, I don't remember what his name was. He was acting like, and he looked like just some schlub. Matt Hughes. Yep. Thank you, Dana. Matt Hughes, just some schlub off the street that, was at the concession stand that didn't know what the heck he was doing. He looked completely stupid. Could they have not found somebody better to go with Tyron Little? Yeah, he looked bored. Now, obviously, I wouldn't say this to his face because he'd probably rip my face off. Okay? But just perception, not knowing who this guy is, he looked terrible and absolutely killed that segment, which was already stupid enough. I don't want Wardlow to get stuck in a battle. Well, actually, he's going to be stuck in a battle with Lambert and America's Top Team because he's going after the TNT Championship. You thought he was... I didn't know. Maybe he was. Let's see. Where is he from? He's from Cleveland. So, Cleveland brown, nasty, burnt orange and brown. I don't know. The other thing I didn't like, Sky is injured, and I have not seen any updates on his MRI, which he was supposed to have had earlier this week. The other thing I did not like was the involvement of Sammy Guevara. We don't need Sammy back together with Jericho. And now Sammy and Ty are with Jericho. And now you've got Fuego del Sol going all over the place on Twitter, asking for justice, blah, blah, blah. We don't need this, okay? We just don't. Does this mean that they're now going to be a 6-man group? Or is Daniel Garcia going to get kicked out of the Jericho Appreciation Society? I could see there being infighting between Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara, and Daniel Garcia leaving the group. which I personally think for Red Death may be the best thing. Agreed. Well, ever since he won back for the second time the TNT Championship, he dragged that title down. And then all of a sudden, the whole thing with Ty Conti, and I'm still a Ty Conti fan, okay? I still am. I just hate the way they're portraying her on TV. I really do. Because now she's gone from one of the best up-and-coming wrestlers to nothing but, a sex toy on TV for Sammy Guevara. That's all she's turned into now. And she is so much better than that. But that's the direction they want to go. Yeah, GTS from Punk. Paradigm shift from Moxley. A BTE trigger from the Young Bucks. Yeah, boy, since you bring that up, I was at Target yesterday. And, when I'm in Target and Walmart, I always just like to go and look at the wrestling figures. Half the time I don't pick any up just because I think the prices are too much. I'm kicking myself for this, but I just didn't have the extra money. They had the Brody Lee AEW figure with the TNT Championship, and I didn't buy it. I wanted to so badly, but I knew I didn't have the extra money for it. I wanted to get it so badly, and I almost ended up going back tonight to see if it was still there. Why would you waste $6 on a Bob Orton figure? Oh my goodness. I've only bought a few. I mean, the last one, I passed up an Alexa Bliss Ultimate one too. If I kept saying, if I had an extra $80, they had Brody Lee, Evil Uno, and John Silver. Or was it? No, it was Brody Lee and John Silver. And they had the Alexa Bliss Ultimate, which I'm almost 100% positive I don't have that one. No, I didn't end up buying it. I've seen it twice and I didn't buy it. The last one I bought was the Rowdy Piper, Rowdy Piper Hollywood, the Elite one. That was the last one I bought. I did buy a couple of Funko Pops. I did get one of the Alexa Bliss Chase ones, and I found a Dude Love, which I thought was cool. But where did you send it? Where did you send it to? Because I don't have it in my Instagram and I don't have it in my Twitter. Actually, I think I still have it. Yeah, I've got a Chris Benoit figure. Hold on, let me grab it real quick. Oh, hold on. I may have to. Rich, give me a second here. I might actually have to go into my YouTube here and see. I just got to make sure. Hopefully, I don't end up getting. Let's see. End up getting. Kill that. No, I should be seeing the same. Rich, I don't see an article that you sent. I'm not seeing anything. So I don't know where. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Now it came through. Let me take a look at this real quick. Oh, yeah. I did see that about Wheeler Yuta talking about Cesaro joining Blackpool Combat Club. That would be awesome. That would be. Oh, hang on. Let me grab this figure real quick. Yeah, this is the one I have. It's the Chris Benoit Toothless Aggression. It came in a bundle of I think I bought like 10 figures last year, and it came with that. So all right, I believe I am done for the night. Actually, yes, I am, because I've got a couple of things I got to take care of before I head off to bed tonight, because I got a couple of busy days coming up here. Yeah, I'm really hoping we don't get blasted with more bad news tomorrow. This has been a rough week for wrestling news. It really has. The only thing that, boy, I'm not even, I was going to say the only thing worse, but I'm not even going to go down that road. I just hope Friday is a day that we can just enjoy being wrestling fans and not have to sit here and talk about controversies or anything else, because that's all it's been this week is bad news and controversies. And I just want to enjoy wrestling. That's all I want, is to just be able to enjoy wrestling. That's why I'm so looking forward to next week, Wednesday. I really am. Found out today that my oldest son gets to go with me to the show, which is cool. I really think, after watching Dynamite last night, I really think some big things are going to happen at Dynamite next week. I think it is possibly going to be the greatest go home show for a wrestling pay-per-view ever. Ever. And if I'm right, I'm going to be in attendance, which will make me very, very happy. So that's all for tonight. Day 107 in the books. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, greatly appreciate you guys so much. Appreciate I've gotten so many new followers in the last couple of days, and it's great. I'm so happy with how things are going, but it's not about the numbers. It's not about the numbers. It's about creating a community here, which we have done. We have a great community here with people that just we're respectful of each other here. Oh shoot. Can we defer it until tomorrow? Can we defer the story until tomorrow, Louis? You should have reminded me, or had we not had this story about the investigation into financial things with WWE and the whole Sasha Banks thing, we would have had time. Oh, Louis, thank you. We will do it tomorrow night. I promise. I'm not 100% sure what time I'm going to be on tomorrow. It is going to be later. It's not going to be super late, because I've got, like I said, I've got a busy Saturday and need to get some sleep. So, but we will talk about it tomorrow. Have a good night. Blake, no, I think the plan all along was to put the titles on the Young Bucks. I really believe that's what the plan was all along, was to have the Bucks win the titles again. There was no doubt in my mind that there was going to be new champions, and I knew for sure that Christian was going to turn heel. I'm surprised it took so long, but that was actually a very interesting closing segment last night. All right, until tomorrow night, have a great night, everybody. We will talk to you on Friday. Big hand. Yes, big hand. Enjoy the podcast.